Hi, welcome to RxMuscle.com. I'm your host, Ian Lauer. You are in the Diner, a show where we help you build your best physique with quality nutrition so you look good, feel good year-round. With us today is Tad, the Diet Coach.
Thank you, Ian. It's always a pleasure to be here and to be on your shows, especially here at the Diner. And I'm looking forward to continuing to share some of my knowledge with everybody else.
I have a great subject to discuss today with you, Tad. This is the subject of fat. And I'm not talking adipose tissue, bulbous bellies, or flabby arms. I'm talking about ingesting quality fats. A lot of times we're talking about saturated fat or so on and so forth when it comes to all that, and you always hear, well, healthy fats are good. So, what are some good healthy fats and how much should you have in a day?
Well, fats are a little elusive as well because they're kind of misunderstood, what we really need, what we really don't need. But in general, we can break it down really simply. So fats are generally thought of and divided up into a couple different kinds of subject matter in terms of saturated fats and unsaturated fats. I like to look at it like this. This is just an easy way to look at it. You got fats that come out of things like nuts and oil, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, which is a wonderful kind of fat. Any kind of fat that usually stays solid at room temperature, those are generally considered bad. Like these are animal fats. Butter, which tastes really good but is horrible for you if you take too much of it, like Crisco, those kinds of things. All those things are generally considered bad on your system. But you do need a certain amount of fat, and it's really, really important, especially as an athlete in this industry, to be able to give your body enough fat. I remember back in the days, not too many years ago, in the 80s and the early 90s, coming up into bodybuilding, and it was all about low fat. And and so this was the biggest concern. And even in the general marketplace, you had a lot of people out there talking about low fat this, low fat this, low fat this, low sodium this. These were the two big buzzwords: the low fat and low sodium. And nowadays we know so much more that it's so important to actually have a certain amount of fat in your diet. And as bodybuilders and physique athletes and all these we need fats to come from healthy sources like avocados, nuts. I generally prefer things like walnuts and almonds, and also a little bit from things like olive oil. But you also need some things that come from things like CLA, which is a different kind of fat. You also need things that come from some of the fish oils, like salmon and some of the white fishes. They'll have omega-3s and omega-6s. These kinds of things are incredibly important for us. They give you, but the reason why we need a certain amount of fat in our diet, even when we're getting lean for shows, is because, or trying to stay lean, is so that your body doesn't go into some fat starvation mode. Your body sort of kicks over and starts to have a very difficult time releasing lipids to be burned as energy if it senses that you're not getting any. And you usually know this. There's very simple signs. Oftentimes, the fingers, the edges of your fingers will crack, and a lot of competitors complain of that in their diet. And that just means their bodies they don't have enough fat in their diet to be able to lubricate their skin and create the oils they need for their skin. So in a nutshell, I hate to say that, kind of a pun, in a nutshell, the fats that we want to consume a certain amount of fat, and generally for most people that's usually 10 to 15 when you're dieting for a contest, 10 to 15% of your caloric intake. In the off season it can be as high as 20 to 30% at times.
All right, Tad, that's a great bit of advice, and thanks so much for sharing that with our viewers here.
Well, thank you very much again for having me on the show. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for tuning into the Diner. Make sure you come back for some more episodes soon.